how we can turn conflict into intimacy.
Make up sex. That's easy next.
Yeah, exactly. Conflict with ourselves, conflict with our significant other, or maybe anybody that's in our life.
How do we go from slow 4G data to 5G experience?
Yeah. So the question I have for you is, how do you share, release feelings of conflict internally and externally? That's your first journal question. How do you share or release feelings of conflict internally and externally?
Exercise usually.
How do you share or release feelings of conflict? Do you get angry?
More than one different way of doing it.
Do you get angry? Do you shut off? Do you walk away? Do you drive erratic?
I do all of them.
Write them down. Yeah, just write them down, man. Journal away.
And that's share or release anger or conflict, right?
How do we share / release feelings of conflict internally and externally? So what do you do internally and what do you do externally? We have to begin thinking about conflict. We have to begin thinking about the conflict that we have within ourselves and with others. And how we behave, how we believe, what those feelings are creating within us, what they're causing. Just like this week, you guys have been able to release a lot of things and let go of a lot of things, and how good that feels. It's the same thing when you get conflict with yourself or with somebody else. To transfer that energy, that negative energy, into something positive, right? So going forward, when you have conflict with anyone, think about how you can be intimate in that situation and with that person. And it may not be resolved right then and there. It may be something that you have to do later on. But it's the same thing with yourself. Like, if you get mad and you're throwing tools, or you're driving crazy, or you're gritting your teeth, why are all those feelings causing these emotions, causing these behaviors, right? And it's the same thing. So you've got to analyze it within yourself, dissect it, and figure out what you can do to turn that conflict into intimacy and view it completely, totally different. We've all changed this week, right? Even I've changed. So I want you to think and realize that when you change what I would call your contract with other people. So when you go home to your significant other, you're a little different. You're going to behave a little bit different. You're going to start processing healthy boundaries a little bit different and understand self-care a little bit different. And they're going to be like, who the fuck is this guy? And you're going to be like, who the fuck am I? You're going to look at yourself a little different. So realize that the contract that you signed up with that person that you're intimate with, you're going to go home tomorrow or Saturday or whenever it is you get home, if you have somebody in your life, and you're going to be a different man. Right? So realize that there's a lot of change, and when that occurs, it may just be a little awkward, and it may be more comfortable to go back to who you were, but realize how you feel tonight. Realize how well you felt last night. And those behaviors, those patterns, those things you've done have changed who you are. And you're a lot happier person. So when conflict arises, think about how you behave and think about a different mechanism that you can change and behave differently next time that arises. All right? So here's what I want you to journal. You only got like 2 things left. And then we'll go upstairs, take a little break, and get ready for yoga. What excites you about life?
I'm missing yoga. I fucking all day.
What excites you about life today?
5G.
Okay.
Should have never told people the secret. Pornhub's calling your name now. Pornhub's calling your name now.
What excites you about life? So I guess I misstated this. I've got a couple of things I want you to write left. And I want you to think about relationships in a different way. I want you to think about all relationships in a different way. Years ago, I lived in Omaha. I was flying from Oklahoma City to Omaha, and I sat next to this guy, and he is a lobbyist. And, we just kind of hit it off, and we're chit-chatting, and I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I'm going gambling." It's like, "Oh, yeah." And he was like, "I just called my wife from the airport and told her I was on my way to Omaha." Wait, hang on a second. You mean like you just left work, drove out here, and you're leaving? He goes, "Yeah, I just called her. It's like, hey, babe, I won't be home this weekend. I'm going to Omaha." I'm like, what the hell? Like, I don't know if I could do that to my wife. And he's just telling me like he's known this girl since like 4th or 5th grade, but they really didn't date until like high school, and they're high school sweethearts, and they really understand and get each other. And that like when he goes certain times of the year, he's working 60, 80 hours a week. And before that time, he needs his time alone, his free time to go do whatever he does. He goes, some people fish, some people hunt, some people do whatever, and I go gamble. And so I was like, wow, that's an amazing relationship you have. That would be difficult on both my wife and I just to randomly, accept that. I said, there'd be some trust, some fear, some other things in there. And he goes, oh yeah, we trust each other, we love each other. And I said, so what's the number one key to a successful relationship? And I said, not just marriage. So if you ever sit with me on an airplane, I'm going to ask you these deep thoughts, right? So get ready. I said, what's a successful, or what's the key to a successful relationship? Any relationship? He goes, forgiveness. And then it sunk in, because that's truly the case. If I work with you and I build up walls and barriers and I get mad and I go home to you and we have a relationship, I build up walls and barriers, and I hang out with you and I build up walls. If I can't forgive you guys, even if it wasn't intentional, then you build up these walls, these barriers, and you're not allowed to move forward. You don't have healthy boundaries. So when I want you to think of relationships, I don't want you to think of them as work. I want you to think relationships as challenging. Don't give it that negative connotation. Realize that relationships on all levels are challenging. Personal or professional, kids, or any of those things. I'm going to have you do 2 more things. I want you to write down the people in your life that you absolutely love. Mine too. Now I want you to write down the list of the people that you do not love. Well, then just do your top 5.
Oh, okay. Send the journals to you. What do you mean?
Somebody you may hate, despise, somebody you do not trust.
So it's a dislike
Yes.
list. Okay.
Just get it started. This is an ongoing project for the rest of your life, probably too. Both of these. What I'm getting ready to tell you has been one of the biggest keys for me in my relationships. Not only forgiveness, but moving on and moving past. So I was talking to somebody today. Was it you, about the Google Drive and how I use that?
Google Docs, yeah.
Google Docs. So I use Google Docs for a lot of journaling, a lot of documentations. And on there's a title of one of the documents. It's called Letters of Intentions. And what I've done is I've written letters to all these people that I love and all these people I do not love. Some of them I've actually sent that letter via email to them. But writing that letter of how much I love you, how much I care for you, allows you once again a different process to journal. Those people that are on your mind that you do not like, you write a letter to them and just don't ever send it. But at least it gives you that letter of intention of what you want for their life. And you're looking at me like I'm crazy.
What do you want for their life?
Where's the fun in not sending a letter to people you don't like?
Well, you can send it if you want. I just don't do
Boundaries, boundaries.
it. Yes,
See,
thank
got
you.
a new job lined up.
Are you ready to move to Alaska? Will I ever see you again? Right?
You get my puppy, it's on Fifth Avenue, best bar in the world. When I get back, I'm gonna go dark.
Yeah. No technology, no 5G, no 4G, no.
I'm gonna have to keep 5G.
Yeah, keep the 5G.
5G.
But I'm telling you, that has helped me more than so many other aspects, because those people in your life that you have resentment towards, or you're frustrated, or anger, or people from the past, you know, the people that you really, really love, you can write it. And you don't have to send it at all, but at least it's an option to journal and get that out of your mind, and get that out of your heart, and get that out of your soul. And so that is just one Google document that I have of letter intentions, and I'll have people's names down there, and then eventually I'll write that letter, and then at some point, sometimes I go through and change it and edit it. But that's been one of the biggest healings for me personally, is just to write and get that out.
So the people you don't love, what do you write there?
That the reason why I'm upset, or the reason why I've been hurt, or the reason why I feel the way I do. Like you know, I want to let you know that I wish you well, but I'm upset or I'm hurt because of this action that you did. Because we have a lot of people in our life that are triggers, positive and negative, right? Something that brings up something positive, something negative. And that letter of intention that I have on that Google Doc has been a true lifesaver for me, because sometimes a memory will pop up or something will pop up that isn't always there, and it's negative, and I'm like, okay, this is my time to journal. This is my letter of intention for them, that I really don't wish them harm. I wish them happy. I wish them goodwill. But this is what that relationship caused to me in my life. And this is what you've done and created in my life. A dissension, havoc, whatever it may be. It's one of the biggest things for me.